Welcome, everyone. I am not prepared for an icebreaker, so give me just a moment while I think of a fun icebreaker uh, on what I can do. These are sometimes really fun. Hmm. Okay, this is fun because we're all in the pet industry. I want to make sure the chat is on. If you can eliminate one part of your job forever, what would it be? I know exactly what mine would be.
Oh, I already know it right now.
What would you
We might
eliminate,
do it.
Denise?
Hiring.
Do it.
Hiring.
Hiring?
Hiring. Hiring is the number one thing, and I'm doing four hires right now. So yes, I'm very much yes,
You can really tell
hiring.
what you're sick of based off of this answer.
Okay.
Yes.
Agrees. Sarah completely
Hi,
agrees.
Sarah.
Melissa, what would you eliminate? One thing from your job, what would you eliminate?
Poop.
You,
Mm.
Melissa.
No, poop.
Oh, I thought you said who. I was like, you.
No, sorry. Yeah, pee. Maybe not the most. I just really, I've had a lot of it lately. I've had quite a few of my clients are very senior and are like not super continent in the rear end, and that leads to a lot of messes. And I'm I would like really love to not have to continually clean that up, even though that is part of ownership sometimes.
What, what about you, Anya? What would you eliminate?
So originally I was gonna say calls because I feel like I'm on so many calls, but now Melissa has me
I'm
thinking.
sorry.
I've been making
I'm
a
the
lot
gateway
of
drug. I'm sorry.
I've been making a lot of ads for Petwealth that also include discussing poop. And every time I have to make an ad, I'm like, I can't eat for hours. It's just so I think that might be it.
That's cute.
Anna, what about you? What would you eliminate from your job?
Oh, I think I would eliminate looking at the financials every month and the accounting. I think it's a boring aspect of running business that I'd rather do without.
I kind of agree.
Yeah.
Now I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of like what I would want to eliminate. Um, I honestly don't know. The dying need for a constant stream of caffeine. Does that count? Because I
Mhm.
feel
Count.
like I feel like when I went from not being a business owner to being a business owner, my caffeine about tripled, and that can't be good for you.
Yeah.
like I'm
Generally
like
not. No.
it's like I came home from SuperZoo and I told my husband I was like I'm exhausted because I couldn't like the Alani there was no Alani open when I was walking to my booth, and so I was like so thirsty and didn't have caffeine. So anybody else? We have over 20 of you in here. If you can eliminate something from your job, like what would you want to eliminate? So we have hiring, we have poop, disgusting poop,
Sorry.
accounting,
Sorry.
um, and caffeine. So I think that's pretty fun. Um, so I just yeah, okay. Well, we have a lot to talk about. So I'm going to just kind of get started a couple minutes early. We usually wait. A couple of ground rules, just so everyone knows this is a live recording. We will be sending a recap after um, the webinar, the education session, and it will also be posted to our YouTube channel. So have fun, ask questions, engage. That's the whole point here. So what I want to first do is I want to go down this lovely row of beautiful women, and I want to just a quick intro about yourself and how you got into the industry. So Melissa, start us off.
Okay. Well, I'm Melissa Jepson, and I am a dog groomer slash pet stylist, however you want to identify. I own Pupscale Pet Salon in Ontario, California, and I have been grooming for 25 years. I also work for a scissor slash sharpening company and am an ambassador and a rep for them, and an ambassador and a rep for a tool company that helps with ergonomics tools to help your body. And I educate as well. So I do teaching in the industry, and I taught a few seminars at SuperZoo, and I was just really privileged and happy to be able to be there and happy to be here. So I just am thrilled to be around like-minded people.
Thanks so much, Melissa. I'm so glad that you were able to join us. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for
Denise,
having me.
Denise, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So my name is Denise Heroux. I own 3 locations in the Cleveland area. I've been in the grooming industry for 28 years. I too am an educator, so I did not speak at SuperZoo this year. This was more for a fun trip this year. But I also am president of Pet Stylist Relief Fund, and can I throw in my Barkley nomination? So
Do
she's
Yes,
it. Do
ma'am.
it.
nominated,
Do it.
nominated for
We
the Barkley
brag all
Honors.
over yourself,
I'm
girl.
gonna brag. For new book of the year. So I just released a book. So yeah, I stay very busy, and I'm founder and president of The Ambitious Groomer, which is my business consulting side gig that Melinda is also going to be joining me in on. So lots of fun and exciting things going on, and I'm excited to be here. So thank you so much.
I'm so glad I have like so many amazing women from so many different channels, but all within the pet industry at once. Like this is just, I wish we could have all sat down for dinner at SuperZoo, but we were all too busy.
It'd be
So this is the
cool.
next
Yeah.
best thing I have. A
Mhm.
lot of you already know me. My name's Melinda. I live in Indiana. I have a retail store, grooming salon, and mobile grooming. I've been in the industry for 4 years, and I am also now an educator. And I also did get nominated for, what did I get nominated for, Denise? I don't remember
Up
what
and
it's
coming
called.
speaker.
There you
Upcoming
go.
speaker.
Well, I don't remember. And I was in a work call when it happened and my phone like blew up. So it was kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
And then now I get to work with Kennel Connection, 100 Group, Petwealth, and so many amazing people in the industry as I'm building my skills. I'm just so fortunate. I'm so glad to be here. Anya, on to you.
Yeah. So I am with Petwealth. I lead sales and marketing there, and have recently joined the team, and we officially launched this month. So it's been a really exciting moment for the brand. Prior to Petwealth, I'd been in the industry for 6 years. I had started at Native Pet. They're one of the leading pet supplement brands in the space, and I had started with them in 2020 and grew with that company, built a lot of the marketing programming early on, and then built out most of their retail partnerships. So I have worked with almost every major retailer in the pet space, at least within the US. And then also, sorry, my dogs have to say hi right now, of course, too. And then also have had a hand in most growth marketing, paid media, email marketing, SEO, influencer, you name it. And then, the best feature about me is that I'm a doxy mom. I feel like we're kind of a cult here, and I have 2 of them who are my biggest testers of any product I'm trying in the pet space.
Mhm.
Amazing. I guess I'm
And then,
next.
yes, you're next. And so it's just so
Okay.
everyone knows, it's Anya and then it's Anna. And I practiced
Yes.
this before this webinar because you guys have
Very
very
clear.
similar names, very similar, but
Yes.
I got it right. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I met you super briefly again at SuperZoo, but we were so busy.
You were so nice. We were on our way out though. So my name is Anna. I'm one of the co-founders of Welltayl. We are a pet skincare company that officially launched end of last year, but we started formulating in 2021. So it feels like it's been a journey of 5 years being in the pet space. Our mission is sort of to really clean up and elevate the standard when it comes to dog cosmetics. And this is our second SuperZoo, so we're still very fresh and new in the industry. Prior to Welltayl, my background has been in branding. I've been in the branding for beauty and cosmetics for the last decade, so that's really where the career started. But I'm excited to be a part of this panel and chat with you lovely ladies.
I think this is like, I'm really excited because we have like I'm the world's worst groomer, so I don't even call myself a groomer. But we have like groomers, we have multi-location business owners, we have brand like Anna, you own a brand, you launched a brand and a product. So that's a whole different channel that I'm terrified about, And then Anya, you're building up a brand new product. So it's like all of us went to SuperZoo with different goals, probably in some ways, because like we were trying to network with potential partners or so I'm excited that we have all these people here. So sorry. So we can just kind of like let's talk about some of the biggest themes that we may have noticed walking the show floor. Like, what did you guys notice that was a little bit different this year? Anya, I know you know.
Yeah. So I feel like every year it continues to grow, but cat has had the biggest presence I think it has ever had this year. It's so interesting. We're seeing a lot of brand new cat brands pop up, which is awesome to see. But then also so many dog brands that are now adding cat onto their line. And I've done a lot of research on cat parents. I am not a cat parent myself, but the consumer mindset and like pet parent experience is so different of dog versus cat. So I think it will be really interesting to see that these brands who started with dog and now have launched cat products, like they're either going to nail it or they're not. And I think we're going to see a pretty big divide between those brands that really understand and get the cat parent versus those who maybe are just trying to sell a dog product to cat parents. And it's a it's a little different. But yeah, I feel like half of the innovation in the space, like in new product showcase, cat was huge and like way bigger than we've seen in previous years.
I saw a lot of new litter boxes. That's what really surprised
Yeah.
me. Like the
Hmm.
number of litter boxes I saw, and I was like, wow, like I don't have a cat either. I'm not a cat parent. I know, Denise, you have a cat salon. So you
So
probably
one of
have,
my locations, yeah, it was really cool to see that many cat things. And it's funny that you said that because I noticed that too walking through and I loved it because I love the take of knowing, is it a dog company selling to cat people? Are they going to stand out? Because there's a huge difference in my salons between my dog salons and my cat salons and the consumer. So I was so excited to see so many cool things for cats because obviously we niche that one out and it's cat exclusive, no dogs allowed. So no dogs allowed. Everyone loves it. We're like, nope, none here.
That's great.
And yeah, so it was really cool to see all that. I can't wait to see, like you said, how this will stack up and how it's turning into that cat centric market.
I don't carry a lot of cat in my store. Just gonna be honest, guys. I haven't figured out the cat consumer.
It's different. It's a whole different ball game for my dog salon. As soon as I opened it up, I thought it'd be easy peasy. I'm like,
no,
no.
I'm not there.
Cat consumer
What do you
different.
find is different about it?
They are very particular. It also takes a lot longer to make an appointment. You will hear their whole entire cat story, their story. It'll take like 30 minutes to make a nail trim appointment. You will hear everything. And the other I can't remember what class it was because I took some classes at SuperZoo and they were talking about the percentage of cat dads, the millennial cat dads, like the
Yeah.
Gen Z millennial cat dads and the market that
Uh-huh.
there is now. And that was the other really weird part was like, cat dads calling up or middle age, like the 50s type male cat dad, like the cat dads. They are so concerned. It is hilarious. It's not even the moms, it's the dads. It's a whole different demographic. It's the weirdest thing, but it's a lot of fun. I love it.
That
I
is so
love every bit of
sweet,
it.
though. Oh my
Yes, it
God.
is very sweet. Just different ways to talk to them. So,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with the dogs.
Yeah, I'm allergic to cats. I love them, but not real familiar. So I'm
Um,
okay. I'm always fascinated by them though. I'm like, oh, what is
I
different? I
think
don't
they're such
know.
odd creatures.
Yeah.
I mean, they really are.
yeah, the dog's a cat.
Another theme that I saw when I was walking around. Now, I didn't make it to the new product showcase, just want to let everyone know that I could only walk the floor a little bit, but I saw a big push towards health and wellness. Like everything, everywhere is about health and wellness. So like, Anna, what was your perspective when you were walking a little bit on health and
Yeah,
wellness?
I think more so even just the interactions I had with some retailers or even influencers, consumers that were coming by our booth, I saw a lot of people really being more aware of like, yes, health and wellness. Generally, I think everybody is into health and wellness, but also kind of putting that into practice. A lot of people were turning our bottle around, taking a look at the ingredients, and I think we're starting to see consumers, retailers, groomers, everyone really getting more and more educated about what they're putting inside, um, obviously their bodies, but also their pets' bodies. So I think that's been something really interesting to kind of have like even candid conversations. We had a large pet specialty store come to me and talk to me about an ingredient called propylene glycol, which is, I don't know if many of you guys know about this ingredient. I'm not going to go off on this tangent, but an ingredient that, you know, just newly is becoming, you know, more and more banned and certain lists and whatnot. So things like that have been really interesting to see the nuances of how people are actually putting health and wellness into practice.
I think it's now suddenly pouring, which kind of caught me a little off guard, guys. Like it was, I just heard something. I was like, what's happening? I live in Indiana. It is now pouring. Sorry, it kind of took me a little bit
No,
scared.
You're good, Mel.
Another,
Yeah.
thank you so much on like, you just kind of said it, people looking at the back of the bottles. Like that
yeah.
is that is picking up. It's becoming, people are more and more aware. They want to know what is in the product that they're not only feeding their animals but putting on their animals, you know. And not even just putting on their animals. Like I've noticed a lot of people at times, even at my small retail store, like we'll pick up a toy and be like, where is this made? Like they want to know the
Yeah.
ingredients in a toy. So that's definitely on the rise. And then conversations with business owners. Who talked to any business owners in regards to vet visits? What were you guys' thoughts there?
Yeah, it was interesting. You know, this was Petwealth's first time exhibiting at SuperZoo, and overall, we had so much positive reception around our product. But a lot of our conversations started with like, "Hey, pet parents are seeing vets less." This was even coming from like some VC firms that we spoke to, where like they're seeing it in potentially the vet clinics that they own and that they're investing in, where vet visits are down year over year. So that's interesting. And then we are seeing that now those pet parents are, you know, seeking other avenues for insights on what to do for their pets, which, you know, could be for going to groomers, going to independent pet stores, could also be going to chat gpt, right? Like they're seeking out that information in other ways, which is really interesting. And I think there is a growing need for like at home still preventative care that comes with it, but pet parents kind of trying to figure out like their own holistic solutions. And I think that also comes down to skincare for pets too, where, you know, I think, you know, we know that like skin issues are one of the most common reasons why pet parents will normally go to the vet. So, you know, now they are trying first, like looking at home solutions, maybe trying at home remedies, looking into solutions like Welltayl as well. So that was interesting and kind of an unexpected insight from the show.
It's something that I always thought about though, because like your
Hmm.
groomers, if you're on a regular grooming schedule, you're seeing them every 4 to 8 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. And
Yeah.
it's like they're gonna be the ones that notice like, hey, Fluffy's losing some weight, or did you notice this hot spot, or did you notice this? So it's like that gap between groomer and veterinarian is closing, and rather than two separate teams, it's almost like they're becoming a little bit more united. It's almost like now you have like a team of professionals to help you take care of your dog, from like a nutritionist standpoint, from an at-home coat care, skin care, to your groomer, to your primary vet. Like it's growing. um, so anybody else have thoughts on that, conversations on the floor? Anybody else have any fun interactions?
I just think it's been really, really cool because as a groomer, our industry is completely unregulated, and you don't need to disclose ingredients when it comes to
Right.
shampoo and product. And that's been a really hot button issue for a lot of groomers for a long time. And I personally will not, I refuse to use products if it is not disclosed what their full ingredient panel is. And so seeing much more of a push for this from a consumer level, I love that it's starting to trickle down a little bit from professional to consumer that we want to know what's in our products. We want transparency. And so I think that push is needed because the more transparent, especially because if you have a great ingredient panel, there's nothing to hide behind. It's like, no, this is our stuff and it's great. And you can use it as a selling point also. So I think it's really wonderful that there's this shift happening because I think overall it promotes much better wellness and just much better care for both ourselves and our companions.
100%. And I think grooming is such an important piece of all of this, right? And then how you
Yes.
take your dog from an outside perspective. I think a lot of times people, and I'm sure you guys also see this in your practices, but we'll focus just from within. And like the skin is the largest dog's organ. So just having
Absolutely.
options, even just hearing that you have a cat grooming facility, I think that that's incredible just because there's this misconception that cats can groom themselves well when they really can't. And so just having all these avenues and ways for people to take care of their pet, I think is exciting to see, at least from my perspective at this show. Like there's so much more innovation now than there was 5 years ago, even beyond like our spaces.
Absolutely.
I have a really quick story that when I first bought my salon, I'm not going to disclose the brand, but I was using a shampoo that the original owner used, and I kept using it, because I was new. And I want to say it was like 4 to 6 months in, I got a phone call of one dog with like an eye infection and another one with an eye infection. I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And I'm talking like we didn't change our bathing process. Of course, we wash the dog's face. Like to some degree, there is going to be soap and stuff in the eye, which is why we used this specific product. Well, the brand had changed from a tier free to a tierless. And so that's when I learned the difference. And there was no communication to me on my end. Like the packaging was the exact same. The product was called the same. They changed the formula and they didn't let me know. And that was what like spiked my entire shampoo journey, I guess you could say, which I am still very much on, to always try and find, I want to say the best products that work, because there's so many different, and then you also need a level of variety to be able to take care of each dog, because like, let's be real, those Cocker Spaniels are greasy. You need something that's going to get that grease off of them versus the Goldens aren't as greasy. You know what I mean? So it's like all these different products that you need. So I'm still on my shampoo journey, just so everyone knows. I'm still.
Reach out to me after this. I can help a little bit with that.
Yeah, I need to talk to both Melissa and Anna because like girly struggling over here. I got so many free samples at SuperZoo because people are like, oh, you own a salon in a van. Here, use this. And I was like, oh, I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So like, and one exploded in my bag too. So that was fun.
That's
but
so fun.
At least
that feels amazing.
I'm going to say it's added to, I had Hydra Forever Velvet explode in one of my bags. It still to this day smells. So, I mean, I guess it could be worse. At least it smells good.
Yeah,
So,
I've had fish oil explode in a bag before. So
delicious.
it could be worse.
Anya, I think most of you know I had a car crash into my retail store in June, right? She hit the bone broth and fish oil shelf. I'm talking like all over everything. I walked in and I was like, oh my gosh. Like the store just stunk. My husband's like, I don't know what to do. Like product was just, even though some like technically wasn't ruined, was covered in fish oil. It was all over my walls. And so I know.
Oh man. Well, Dawn dish soap will get fish oil out of things.
So I'm still on my skincare product journey for dogs. So I think that's but I love seeing all the changes. I love seeing the transparency. I love seeing products like Welltayl out there. That tells us that the industry is like we're going deep. It's no longer just getting a shampoo that smells good. It's like we need to get a product that takes care of the skin.
Yeah, I think that's part of it too. And the other part of it is that dog just dermatology and cat dermatology is about 30 years behind human dermatology. So there just isn't enough research. And so even when ingredients are said to be good, clean, natural, or even if they just do the baseline of showing you ingredients, which a lot of grooming or just regular dog shampoos don't need to disclose, I think the safety testing and finding brands that are actually like making sure that like the dosage is safe for cats and dogs. Because one misconception is that dogs and cats can process products in the same way that humans can process products. And there are a lot of essential oils, for example, where cats don't have the liver enzymes to actually process it. So there's a whole biological story that I think is not as people are not as aware that animals are a different species than humans. And even if something's buzzy in the human space and is great for them, doesn't necessarily mean it's actually great for animals.
I just need to chime in that my background's vet med. So I went to college in California and I worked in small animal and then I did equine. And a really sick cat was always like to me because like, oh, I want to give them this. Oh, their liver can't handle it. Oh, I want to give them this. Oh, their kidneys can't handle it. Like cats are just complicated. The only thing more complicated than a cat is a bird. I want everyone to know I do not enjoy treating birds. And I think that my vet career made me really dislike birds in general. Like I just don't like them at all. They're pretty to look at, but like I don't want to touch one. And I definitely don't want to medicate one.
I was a vet groomer for 13 years and we did avians. It was exotic than avians. And I'm like, nope.
I think it was
that
like
would help with everything else.
The first time I had to intubate a macaw, I was like, this isn't for me, guys. Like,
wow.
I'm not.
What is it? Is it the like? Is it just interacting with the animal, or is it treating them? Like, I'm curious.
It's treating. It's not the animal's personality. Like, I have zero problems with the healthy animal. With cats, I want to say you kind of touched on it a little bit. They're extremely complex biologically. So it's one of the things like they're not even like a dog. So it's particularly for me, I did a lot of canine work. And so my brain got like so focused on canine biology. And then a cat came in. I was like, I want to do this, JK, you can't. Because like you can't even put the same flea and tick control products on if you put a flea and tick control product on a dog, you can't even have them around a cat for X amount of hours because that's how toxic it is to a cat. Like biologically, they're just so different. And I did not enjoy that. So I really I struggled. And then I will never forget intubating that macaw. It was just no. I just did not no, not for me. Not for me. So I just I'll leave that alone. But so trends that we're watching, something that we all kind of agree on, technology and the rise of AI. Like it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Yeah, especially from SuperZoo last year, right? Because technology has changed so much. And like I think every single month some kind of new technology is launching and completely changing the industry. It's really interesting where I think that AI is also becoming a part of the process of most of these businesses, right? Where now they're figuring out workflows within their businesses that they can now drive with, you know, AI and various agents that they're building. And then we're starting to see it filter into the actual products too. I mean, like take Petwealth, for example. You know, we're doing like at-home testing, but really like the biggest, you know, factor of our products is our app and this AI layer that we've built that takes your test results and translates them into actionable insights for pet parents. And we're seeing, you know, a lot of yeah, Jeff's chiming in too. Yeah, we're seeing that with a lot of brands too, where, you know, I think a good amount of the industry is adding these like AI integrated apps. And I think some will be truly differentiated and like make a big impact in the industry. And then others are just kind of there to check a box. So seeing a gap there as well. And I know one company that we were also really interested in that we were looking at is iDog Cam. They just launched a feature where they're basically, you know, they have their cameras in boarding facilities as an example and like can track, you know, what dogs are doing. They just added like a poop feature. So if a dog poops in the room or like poops in the yard, it will say, hey, this dog pooped, go pick it up. So even like small features like that, I think are interesting and will, you know, make all of our lives easier where, you know, if you own your own facility, now you know immediately, you know, when you need to go clean something up and you don't have to do just quick check-ins here and there. So it's interesting.
Talking about that, my favorite feature about the iDog Cam was not only does it notify you, but like it also, I love data. I love numbers. I'm a nerd, guys. It tracks like when it was detected. So then it like also lets you know how long it takes, like timestamps once it's clear. So like from a owner's perspective, like that can be extremely useful because you can say like, hey, it's taking you 45 minutes to pick up poop versus everyone else is averaging 12. Like there's a problem. How can I support you? Because that is where my mind goes. So we do have an interesting comment in here that there's a lot of talk like AI and technology. I think all five of us really like AI and technology, and it can be very powerful, very useful, very beneficial. But then there's also some business owners out there that just like refuse it altogether. And not only AI, but like refuse technology. Like it's mixed and I think everyone needs to be open to technology. Like my heart breaks when somebody walks by and I'm like, what grooming software did they use? And they were like pen and paper. I'm like, oh gosh, like, oh gosh, hold on. You know, like my soul breaks for them.
Yeah, I think I heard someone at
Uh,
the show who doesn't even take credit card like
yeah.
payments, and I'm mind blown. I'm like,
Not
how do you
uncommon.
live in this century?
All
Yeah.
the time in my classes, it is, I
Hmm.
always bring up software and I'm like, it's not just scheduling. I'm like, don't be afraid of technology. I'm like, it's to make your life easier. That's a whole office system and all the things, but it is so crazy how many people are just anti-technology. I
It's
love
me.
AI. I love incorporating.
It's me, the
I
numbers
love it.
person that I ask them, how many minutes a day do you spend doing reminder calls? And they're like, oh, it's only like 20, 30 minutes. I was like, 20, 30 minutes, 5 times a week. That's 2.5 hours. Like Hello Groom's $45 a month. Boom. It pays for itself in a couple days. You get two and a
Hmm.
half hours of your life back because it just automates it. Like it that's my mindset. I really um I love technology. I love AI. It's really helpful to just like I dump in at times when I have a difficult conversation with a client, you know, via some level of chat or text. I'll like dump in the conversation as well as like dump in my brand kit so it knows my mission values and everything and be like, help me respond to this complicated customer. And it gives me the feedback, you know. So I use it in ways like that. Anya said like workflows, like it's so helpful for workflows, SOPs, um, other things like that. Like it's becoming more mainstream, but there's still some hesitancy to it. And I feel like Anya kind of touched on it. I think some of this AI integration into products and technology is going to really take off and stick. And some are doing it very well. And I think some others are just like throwing AI on there to just be a part of the club. And I'm not confident it's gonna um, benefit every brand, maybe. Is that a good way to
Mhm.
say it? What would you guys
Mhm.
think?
Yeah, I think the companies who have success with it need to go a step beyond what you could just use ChatGPT for or like Claude for, right? Like it needs
Well,
to.
yeah, because then why wouldn't you just use that?
Yeah, exactly. Like if
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
yeah, it needs to provide some additional value beyond that. And I think vets are especially valuable in that arena because no one can speak from a vet's perspective except for vets. So I think the products that are incorporating them and like basing the knowledge base from them will have a clear delineation. And same thing from like professional services, right? You guys can speak the best to grooming as an example. So any authority that then is like being linked to AI, I think will have some differentiation from everyone else who's just adding it. If like take a picture of your dog's poop, I'll tell you if it's healthy or not. Like ChatGPT can do that for me. I don't really need a separate app for that.
So
Yeah.
I
What
have
an
to say,
example.
yeah, like so on my Ambitious Groomer website, I started playing, well, I was updating a slideshow. Anyways, fast forward, and it's like, oh, do you want a pricing calculator? And I actually started getting coded price. So I have a coded pricing calculator on my website. And it's free to use and all the things. And I'm so excited to see what I can take that no other business speaker does, right? Like I want to make a calculator to be able to add employees, that people can have these tools and put value behind what I teach and help people. So I learning and then finding out like people
Good
doing payroll.
Lord.
I just learned about that over the week, how to integrate that and streamline the systems in the back end, and playing around with it was really awesome. So I, I absolutely, you have to stand out. Anyone can go on and ask it things or whatever, but you have to really dig in and it's going to set you apart.
Mhm.
I love it.
Mhm.
Um, I want to move on now to, I want to talk about health, wellness, and preventative care. And so I really wanted to try and talk a little bit about Welltayl at this point because it's like it's a new product and it's
Mhm.
really, I think, what like Melissa, Denise, myself, we're pet care professionals. We hire employees to clean dogs, take care of skin. We see the dogs every 4 to 6 weeks. We need products like this. And Anna, I'm
Mhm.
saying it right because
Yes,
your
you
names are
are.
so close, can tell us a little bit like, the preventative care and the wellness of pets, it's booming. Like everyone wants to do what's best for their pets.
Yeah, definitely. We were just included in an article around the skinification in just like overall dog care and how the next sort of like frontier of beauty is dog beauty, which excites me, but also kind of scares me because in our space, the barrier to entry is so low because it's not regulated. And anyone can develop a dog shampoo and put a bunch of marketing claims on it and think that they're doing the right thing, and it may not even be with malintent. But when we went through the formulation of our product more, as we did more research and whatnot, we realized how the skin, it is actually like the dog and cat skin is actually much more sensitive, thinner than our skin. I mean, 1 in 4 dogs gets skin cancer. There's so many elements of like where we, as even me as a pet owner, when I got my dog Ollie 5 years ago, was not aware of how to care for an animal's skin just because I don't think that it's talked about as much. So from just like a preventative perspective, one thing that I think is interesting in our space, particularly, and how we develop Welltayl differently, is that a lot of it is so focused on like how shiny the coat is, or how fluffy your dog is, or how great your dog smells and whatnot. And we sort of like took the opposite approach of like if your dog's skin is healthy and it has the right type of care, your dog's coat will grow in healthy. So I think there's just an interesting dialogue right now, like I sort of mentioned earlier, like taking care of the outermost part of your pet's skin is just as important, even beyond like a product standpoint. Like we create EWG verified, we're environmental working group verified products. We did toxicology, safety testing. So basically sort of developed a standard that is not needed in the pet space, just because the government looks at dogs and cats as property value, and there's no investment from a regulatory standpoint. But even beyond that, I think grooming, something that I learned from SuperZoo too, is just very much like a bonding ritual and an opportunity to check in with your dog. So like even just brushing them daily, like you can kind of check for lumps and bumps, new things that are on the skin, etc. We found something on Ollie's paw when we were adding her a skin barrier stick. And ended up being benign, but we went to the vet derm and had it extracted. He had a procedure. So I think just like the awareness, going back to like, it's not even just like about health and wellness or ingredients, but just like being more aware with your animal and creating that sort of opportunity to get ahead of things and prevent things before they end up at the vet with itchy skin, which I think a lot of the reasons why skin conditions are the number one reason for vet visits is because there's no routine, there's no system for at-home care. So that's sort of what we're trying to build with Welltayl. I hope I answered your question.
You did, and it makes me so excited because like I have had, truthfully, I'm going to say a very different approach, but I think like together with a product like yours, because I'm very big on nutrition.
Yep.
I think that it starts on the inside, and so like my challenge to people, I have one of my dogs in the background. She's sleeping. I want to be her. But my dogs eat a variety of kibbles, a variety of raw, a variety of proteins. And my dogs I do dog sports, but they have a healthy gut because I feed them real food. And
Sure.
it's one of the things that my vet is actually very anti-raw. So I always kind of giggle when I go in. And, he also sees a couple dogs that I breed. He's like, Melinda, you have the best dogs. Like, she looks so good and her blood panel's so great. And I'm like, she's raw. She eats raw food. But it's like with better nutrition, because that's been like that was on the rise in the industry first, is like we focused on improving nutrition. And then now we also are going to have skincare products that can help, facilitate, the inside and the outside to where dogs are just going to like hopefully skin issues decrease because it is a big problem,
It
so
is.
it
Yeah,
makes
the
me
food
really
is
excited.
Yeah, the nutrition piece is obviously so important. And I think that that's a core reason why dogs also have skin conditions, but it's not the only reason. Chicken allergies are not the only reason dogs have skin conditions. And I think one thing that's really interesting, a stat that I think would surprise a lot of people, is that dogs lose about 15% of water every day. So they are just naturally very, very dry. And no one's really talking about moisturizing pets. And when you think about it, dry skin is itchy skin. So there are some cosmetic things beyond nutrition that can help find relief from for an animal.
I love that. I never thought of it that way. Because it's
Yeah.
like in my mind, cats are silly
Interesting.
and like cats don't drink water. So it's like if you're gonna
They should.
like,
That's how you get
they
kidney
don't.
issues.
Cats are silly. So it's like I always tell people like if you don't want to feed raw because it's higher in water content, like at least get some goat's milk. And if you really don't want to do goat's milk, just put some water on your cat's food because like they're just weird. They don't drink water when they need water. And then it's like you're Anna, you're talking about how now that we can hydrate them internally, but we also can assist by hydrating their skin and their coat with your products.
Externally.
Like that's amazing. I love it.
Yeah,
We have a question
just
here.
oh yeah.
I was
Oh no,
just
but
going to
go
comment
Anya
on that because
first.
I think
I
it's
was just
a fantastic question. Go on.
Yeah, it is. I was just gonna say anecdotally, I've been using Welltayl actually before I knew Anna. So like earlier this spring I started, and my dog Louie had like light dandruff before, and after I've been using it for like 2, 3 months, he's in the clear. So I think, previously I was using like a pretty conventional like probiotic shampoo, and it's been a great product for his skin. And I feed him like fresh food. I make his food, every 2 weeks in my crock pot, kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anna, we're gonna have to talk because I just had
Definitely.
something interesting. I just had a litter 4 months ago. And so if
Oh,
anybody
wow.
breeds dogs, you know that once you whelped, like they kind of just like us humans lose all their hair. So my golden retriever right now looks like a lab mutt. So girl could use some help. And then she also has some calluses on her elbows. So we'll have to talk. And then maybe look if we can get her something to start feeling a little bit better. Um,
Yeah, would love to help.
so
I
I had
wanted
a
to talk a little
question.
bit about this question.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
TheraClean.
Yeah. Oh, no. So
Oh,
there's a question in the chat. Jeff had asked, do you girls see resistance from traditional vets when it comes to these new and groundbreaking ways to help with pet wellness and care? For example, do vets push back on these types of products and try to stick to traditional medicine? And I think that that is a question that opens a much broader conversation because so often, especially in the grooming sector, like we're seen as like pitted against each other almost. Like
Mhm.
clients will come in and say, my vet said you caused an ear infection. My vet said my dog's not fat. My vet said XYZ. And it almost becomes like a shield that, like, oh, well, my vet's the medical professional and they're telling me something different than what you're telling me. And I think that this is a really great way to, because, like, just a little bit of background on me, like, I'm a canine esthetician, ISCC Dermatech certified. And I've also, I mean, skin and coat and products have been something that has like really been a passion of mine that I've like really worked on. And so in doing so, like I work with an enormous amount of vets in my area because in general, when vets in my area can't heal something, most of the time they send it to me because
Mhm.
not always, I don't have a 100% success rate, but I have a pretty good success rate within my clientele. And it's gotten to the point where my clients now tend to come to me first before they go to their vet because they're like, you'll be real with us. And really, what I think that we need to do is we need to start more of a collaboration within our industries and working with each other. Because, yes, there are very traditional, like dyed in the wool,
Mhm.
been around forever, like vets that just have their tried and true things that they don't want to part from, but an enormous amount of vets, like my personal vet calls me all the freaking time. Like, and I love the man so much. In fact, it's a husband-wife team, my vets. And I adore working with them, and we send each other clients constantly because we know that we can trust each other and vice versa. Because I think one of the highest forms of intelligence is being able to say, I don't know that. And so if a veterinarian is unwilling or unable to say something like that, that's the first sign to me that's like, okay, they're probably not going to be open to having this conversation. But with
Mhm.
this all of this new stuff coming out, like when people are modernizing with the AI and with the pet, the wellness and the nutrition and all of this, like I had a really great conversation with a visiting vet the other day because she was talking, I also feed raw, and she was talking to me about the whole legume taurine absorption situation and the boutique dog foods. And she was just telling me how bad raw was. And I was like, well, wait, like, let's challenge that. Like, why do you think that's bad? And she was talking about the legumes. And I'm like, my dogs don't eat plant matter, they can't digest it. So, that's not going to be a thing that I'm going to be feeding them. They're not eating legumes, they're getting pure taurine straight from organ, bone, muscle, all of that. And she like paused and was like, wait. And I was like, yeah, we're not doing the kibble situation, so I don't need to worry about my dog's not absorbing stuff like that. And, and it was very funny because she's talking, she's listening to my dog's heart. And he's 2. His heart is great, perfect, strong, healthy. And she's like telling me, oh, if you feed him raw, it could be a problem. And I'm like, is it a problem? Do you hear anything? And she was like, no. And like, like just gentle pushback, where it's like, okay, well, I see where you're coming from, but let's challenge that a little bit because is this something that you're just being told that you're regurgitating, or is this an actual fact that you know? And that
So
tends to
Yeah.
open the door because I think people want to know more, like we don't want to be ignorant. We
so
don't
I
get
love
here because we just stay with the
Yeah.
status quo.
I have a
I
question for Mel, actually, because this is something that I've learned. I don't know if it's 100% true. To me, it seems like nutrition and skincare are not like a huge part of the curriculum
I
for
was
That's
just
correct.
vets.
about to say
Very
from
correct.
like this is where I kind of love to talk my perspective because like gonna put it out there. This is recording. I was very anti-raw. Okay. And why was I anti-raw? Because that's what was shoved down me. And then now that I work in marketing, so now like I work in marketing, I have a whole new different skill set. I applaud those brands because I'm not going to say
Yeah.
which brand, but they sponsored our nutrition class. And not only did they sponsor our nutrition class, but for 2 years, we got up to 3 bags a month of free dog food delivered to our house. And it was genius marketing because, like, oh, Melinda, you're studying pre-vet. Like, what do you feed your dog? Genius marketing. Because how many people asked Melinda, what I was feeding, and I was like, oh, I feed this. And then nutrition, it was one class. That was it. And honestly, it wasn't even really about digestion. It was about like how much to feed and how to tell if a dog is fat or not, is what I will tell you. I think I learned more about bovine nutrition than I did canine, if I had to be very
Oh,
honest. And equine, like we learned more about equine. Um, and so it's one of the things that it's like we're not taught anything else. And then when it comes to skin conditions, like it's how to do a skin scraping, Demodex, and dosing ivermectin. Like that's
Yeah.
that there was no about the biology of the skin, biology of feathers, none of
right,
that.
right.
No, that we not a
Which
bit.
that blows my mind. That's wild to me.
So I was extremely
Yeah.
anti-raw, and it's kind of funny because like when I met my husband, he fed raw, and I was like, we are not doing that. And so I switched because like I switched to the brand that I'd been feeding forever, and I have to say my dog died of congestive heart failure.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And
I'm
and
so
I was like,
sorry.
wow. Well, she was 12, so she lived a great life. And she was an
Yeah.
amazing dog. But like I was like, oh my gosh. And then now that I breed and show dogs, I don't do 100% raw. Like I have 4 dogs. It's expensive. But I figured that if you feed 50% raw, you can get almost all the great benefits. Which the number one great benefit for me is less poop.
Oh my God. Yes.
Feed raw, your dogs poop less, guys.
The poop
Dogs
is
poop.
amazing.
And so
I never
with
thought I was
with
going to say that during this.
it's seriously like I remember, so we were kind of lazy. Me and my husband were lazy for 1 week, and so we were feeding our dogs more kibble. I finally told him, I was like, you need to defrost some raw because I'm tired of picking up poop all freaking day. Like, because literally it's like 3 times the amount of poop. So, but to get back on subject though, but Anna, you're completely right. Like there is no education on it. And so it's one of the
Right.
things that then we have these big name brands that like, oh, a dog has a sensitive stomach. Here's this prescription diet. Read that prescription diet. It is complete garbage.
Total.
Yeah.
Complete
Totally.
garbage. Hydrolyzed
Oh,
proteins, that's a marketing term made up.
Yeah, it's chicken
And I
feathers.
mean,
totally.
it's real. Hydrolyzed proteins are real,
Hmm.
but like rather than hydrolyzing a protein so a dog can eat something, just feed them a different protein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and honestly,
It's
food allergies are so much rarer than we actually think. Like, so many people think that their dogs have an allergy when really it's the food form that they're struggling to digest because dogs have a hard time digesting pure carbohydrates.
Yeah,
yeah.
so we're getting a little off topic, and there's
Yeah,
two more
sorry.
things I want to
Go on.
touch before we wrap up. So Denise, or not Denise, Melissa, you taught some seminars at SuperZoo this year.
Yes,
So I
ma'am.
I would really love your input on like the shift in the education offerings and the shift on the
Yeah.
audience. Like what did you see teaching?
So I like really loved teaching at SuperZoo this year because it was totally different from any other education event and trade show that I've taught at, which I've been teaching since 2018 and I do the trade show circuit, so a considerable amount, right? And the two concerns that I see from attendees the most commonly is that people, especially when the classes are very populated, it's hard to see what's going on. Even with cameras and having different camera angles and stuff, like you can't see things from the teacher's perspective, right? And that's almost exactly what you need for the attendees to get the knowledge that they want from the classes. And then also, we can't do the entire process. And that's always been a really huge, while I understand the physical limitations of not being able to have like plumbing and electrical and, all of that on the trade show floor, um, the bath and the blow dry, the prep work is at least, if not more, half the process, and like I can tell you right now, plenty of people send me like photos and stuff of like wanting me to critique, the groom. And almost all the time, my feedback is the haircut's fine. You need to up your prep work, level up your prep work. And it's seen as such a basic foundational part, but very few people realize just quite how important the bath and the blow dry is to the finished product. Like everything is built on it. So SuperZoo was able to get plumbing and electrical on the trade show floor, and we were able to do like a fully hands-on, comprehensive 4-hour class from start to finish, and everyone could see the full process. And it was so funny because I noticed that I got way more questions during the bath portion than I did during any other portion for something that seems so foundational, for something that we do every single day, for something that I hear so many people here, like I like say all the time, like it's just a bath. It's never just anything. Like every single step needs to be done beautifully well. And being able to get across the full entire picture and concept, I saw so many light bulbs turn on, and it was just super special to me. Like I got the best feedback from my classes, and I've gotten from like everyone was super engaged. Like everyone was super like thirsty to learn, and it just like made my heart so happy because being able to meet these needs is something that's brand new and people are just really wanting it. And so being able to do that, I think was like incredibly special. I really hope we keep doing that. Like I enjoy how much they expanded the education this year. And I saw a lot of really cool, like different new topics and stuff too. So I just thought it was really well rounded.
I love that. Also, with the bath, you're able to talk about products by doing the
Yes,
bath,
ma'am.
right? Like you're able to
Yes, but I
include
will say,
products.
like, I don't sell during classes. Like, even though I'm sponsored by companies, I don't sell during classes because they are there for knowledge. They're not there for a commercial. So I definitely people ask, but I do impart to them. It is more technique than it is product itself because there is no real one product that works perfectly with every single water and every single pH level that people live with. And I think that's why there are a great many different products, is so that people can kind of trial and error what works for them and their water specifically. Because I don't think a lot of people take into account how different water is from place to place and how much it affects the end product.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. We're still running out of time, and me and
I'm
Anya.
sorry, I'm long-winded. Move on from
No,
me.
do not be apologize. We're running out of time because just like I knew, like I said, I wanted to go to dinner with all of you because I knew we would all have great conversation. But Anya, you can share the slide now. Let's
Mhm.
briefly talk about, we'll probably go a few minutes over. We have a couple of questions. We will answer the questions. So you can see my dog sleeping on my bed, everybody. She's living her best life. So these are
Oh.
the favorite new products out there. So like Three Dog Bakery. Anya, you want to talk about Three Dog Bakery?
Yeah,
Um,
so first of all, we walked through product showcase and as much of the floor as we could. This is obviously not comprehensive of the entire show. But I think there's some cool innovation. I think, for the size of the show, I'm surprised that there's not more innovation in the pet space, especially from some of the really big pet brands. Like, I mean, you know them, but they have the same booth for the last 10 years and nothing is really changing within those companies. All of the innovation is coming from like newer up and coming companies, a lot of startups. But Three Dog Bakery, I've added this one personally because these cookies are human grade, and I can personally attest that they were delicious. I
They
do not have a
are.
sweet tooth. I do not have a sweet tooth, and they were so yummy. Like it literally tasted like a strawberry shortcake. And I'm like, how awesome is this that you could eat it, like take a bite, give your dog a bite, eat a bite, give your dog a bite. I think this could be so cool for storefronts, where it's like, here, take a cookie for yourself and for your dog. So it was a really, really cool product, and I had several cookies from their booth.
Anna, you want to talk about Welltayl a little bit because I mean it's on there. It's a new product.
I'll keep it quick because I know we've mentioned it before, but we built a skin and coat system for both dogs and cats. We did PhD toxicology safety testing for both species. We are very focused on the skin, so use certain ingredients like hyaluronic acid, panthenol, glycerin, things that traditionally are not found in dog shampoos. It's fragrance free and EWG verified, really meant to be like a routine that you can use as supportive care too for sensitive skin animals that are struggling with issues or are on medicated shampoo as well. So that's Welltayl.
Thank you. And I loved WagLab.
Me
So I love
too.
that you put that on there. And so I'm going to say from a
Mhm.
retailer's perspective, the reason I loved this toy is the price point. So a lot of enrichment toys are 20 plus dollars and they're well worth it. Well, Wag Lab is, I think it was 12.99 to 16.99 MSRP per piece, which is a really nice price point for me for a retailer. And then I love that it was almost modular. So it's like one of the things that it's going to get my customers, I'm hoping, but my customers are going to come in, buy one, and they're going to be like, oh, my dog loves this. And then their next visit, they're going to buy another. So I was super excited. I got two samples brought home to my husband. I was like, this is this toy. And I sent him like 50 million pictures and videos. But that was a toy that I really, really liked because enrichment is big. Like we're always looking to keep our dogs busy because we all work, from home or we travel and we want to make sure our dogs are occupied and their mind is stimulated. So really loved that product. I was really excited
Yeah,
about that
it's so
one.
cool. So basically, each of these components are sold separately, but they're different forms of enrichment of like how your dog gets the treat, whether it's like a lickable or the treats are inside of it where they have to roll it around. So it's really cool, and they all screw together so you can decide like what your dog's enrichment experience is like every single day. I feel like this could even be cool for like groomers or like doggy daycares, pet resorts and whatnot. So it was a really cool product.
I remember
And
when the
then I pop,
Kong was all that there was, and now there's like so
yes.
many fun things.
Yeah, definitely. And then I added Uproot Clean in here. They actually ended up winning a new product showcase award. And they have introduced a basically a washing machine cleaner, which is a little different from everything else on this slide, but it's basically like a little pod, exactly like you would throw in like your laundry detergent pod, but it cleans your machine. So, in your machine, the hair buildup is crazy from your dogs, especially Mel has a golden retriever, right? Like the shedding is insane and it sticks to your bed sheets, it sticks to your clothes, and all of that builds up into your washing machine. So I think this is a really, really interesting product. Can even see businesses benefiting from this, where maybe you're using towels to like dry your dogs and whatnot. But it's a really cool product.
I am
Uh,
100% looking into a laundry service because I'm so tired of buying new washing machines for the shop.
mhm. Yeah, yeah. Well, maybe
I'm
try
over it.
Uproot Clean Out first.
I was like,
Be
I
clean all
didn't
the
see this
way.
one, so I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
try it out. All right, next
Definitely.
up, Anya, do it. Pet
Yeah,
Wealth.
so
Like this is your
yeah,
first show broadcasting. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, we got such positive responses, exhibiting at our first show, and we were connected to Kennel Connections booth, which was really awesome too, and like such a privilege to be next to you guys. But I think, time and time again, we just heard like, this is such a cool new product. All I see here at the show is like another dog treat brand, another dog food brand, more cat products, which I love all the cat products. They are new and exciting, but there's not a ton of like real newness. Most of the innovation is like, a new feature that's added to something. So we got a lot of that feedback and really positive responses from everyone in the industry, vets, groomers, people who, run their own retail storefront. So really positive responses there. And we have a line for both dog and cat. Same thing as like what Anna was sharing earlier, like, the same diseases and pathogens that impact dogs and cats are going to be different from each other. There's some overlap, but there's also a distinction there. So we've created a line of 6 different products focusing on fecal health, respiratory, and oral health, in both dogs and cats. And if anyone wants more information, I can share it after the call. But I think that's a good little overview to get us through.
I'm very excited for Petwealth. Like all I know
Yeah.
is the at-home fecal testing you got me. And then next, I asked Anya to put this on here, but bone broth chews. I was personally really excited to see these. They remind me a lot of like the yak chews that are really popular in my store specifically, but I think a lot of stores because there's more and more yak chew companies showing up. But the price point of the yak chews is high. So like a large chew can be $20 to $30 versus I looked at these and it's bone broth and collagen. It's like 4 ingredients, sea salt and beef gelatin. They're hard to chew, so like will keep my Goldens busy. But the price point was great. So like this small one, $7 MSRP. So it's something that I could have on the counter and it's a really quick buy, like a really quick, like, oh, it's interesting. What is that? And it's no, it's not plastic, it's a bone broth chew. It's natural. Like, so I was really excited about this one as well. This is one that Sean got like a ton of text messages about. This brand is also human grade made in the USA, which is really important for me. So yeah, that was our favorite new products that we saw at SuperZoo. We are a couple minutes over, but I did have one question roll in that I think I want Melissa and Denise to touch on because it was specifically somebody asking about the TheraClean systems. They wanted to know, like, what do you think about the TheraClean bathing systems, the micro bubble system? And I've seen it. I've personally never used it. So I don't think I have a valid opinion, but I'm going to say I'm impressed by what they claim to do, but I have no experience.
I've
I've
never
seen
used
it.
it, so that would be maybe a Melissa question.
I've used it.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm like, what did my video do?
Mhm.
I've seen it and I've used it. I do not personally have one, reason being because of the cost. Um, I get very good results from what I'm currently doing, and I know that the price point, there's just not a way for me to be able to charge enough to make the price point really worth it. So that just really comes from a profit perspective, but it does work very well. In fact, if you put your own hand slash arm in the machine and pull it out, like, and compare it, like, your hand that was in there for however long is going to feel markedly different than your other hand. Like, and it's almost immediate. Like, you do need to submerge for a little bit, but it works so fast. So I do think that the TheraClean, like, there is definitely science there and it works really well. And I've seen it work miracles. Just again, my only hangup is the price point, but I think it's a super worthwhile system.
Love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Um, So I want to say like we're 10 minutes over, so I'm going to wrap it up, but we can continue chatting all night. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in. We will be sending a recap email. We'll make sure to have some Petwealth and Welltayl information in that email for you guys. Make sure to like and follow us on social media as well as our YouTube channel so you can follow up on our other pet care connections. And thank you for joining us. Until next time, stay connected, keep learning, and we'll catch you at the next Pet Care Connection. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you.
Thanks.
Night.